Dan Gilroy's Nightcrawler is a very encapsulating film. If you've seen it, I'm betting that you remember it. And if you remember it, then I bet it's because of Lou Bloom, our protagonist? But yeah, Lou Bloom is a superbly written and acted character. To me, one of the best. The way he is framed and the technical decisions used also play a part in why this character works so well. I want to show you the whys and the hows to what makes Lou Bloom a great character. Give me 10 minutes to explain. We begin with the subtle art of subliminal messaging. Let's take a look at 3 different one-shots of Lou Bloom. It's important to note that each of these shots are within the first 10 minutes of the film. See if you can spot any similarities.
Enough to buy all that gear.
Did you get it? Yes, it's colour. More specifically, the colour red. Let's take a look at shot 1 again, extended for context. The one shot starts with a subtle red brake light just slightly in the background as Lou is looking at Joe Loader videoing in front of a blazing car. The redness grows until here. It's pretty much everywhere, but most importantly, it covers Lou's face, the focal point of the shot. This is a seriously cool thing that the cinematography and lighting team have done. By blasting harsh red lights all over this shot, it subtly pushes the connotations of red forward, which we know to be danger, anger, adventure, seduction, which are all key themes in this film, especially in terms of Lou Bloom's characteristics. This is the first time Lou is discovering the world of news videography, and the plane flying over his head right here is like the light bulb moment dinging above his head. Moving to shot 2. Red isn't as prominent here, it's definitely more subtle, but interestingly, it is still there, which just proves the power and meticulousness of choice in this film. Let's freeze it here. The main red in this shot is here, located in the background, but right next to Lou's face, prominent enough to be picked up by the audience's peripherals. There's another red light located in the top left corner, only small, but it's still there. Now, last but by no means least, shot 3. Now we know that colour is a contributing factor. This shot speaks for itself. There's red lights flashing all over the place. What's more interesting about this shot is how the lighting partners up with what Lou is doing. As here, he's deep in thought, he's thinking hard and is clearly intrigued by what he's just seen. It's almost like the lights are reflecting what's going on in Lou's brain at this moment. He's concocting a plan. The cogs are beginning to turn. It's not just the opening 10 minutes of the film that uses red to message. It's a convention throughout the whole film. It's used at notable times as well, like when Lou steals the red bike, when Lou meets Rick for the first time and sits on a red seat, when Lou buys a lovely red sports car and drives it throughout the film, and the logo for the news station Lou runs for is indeed red.
Business course, for example, and I learned.
In fact, there's rarely a shot of Lou without the colour red somehow apparent.
That most of them didn't read what you said you did. Hey, bro. Trying to leverage your salary.
It gives the viewer a sense of the danger in the scene, or the impending danger of Lou's journey through the film.
Why you pursue something is equally as important as what you pursue.
Now let's look at how shadows and lighting are used to characterise Lou Bloom. It's very common for Lou to be shown in the shadows throughout this film. whether it be meddling intrusively, or just driving around looking for his next scout. The shadows are prominent. Yes, indeed, the film is about a nighttime news videographer, so the darkness is the main setting for the film. But even in the daytime, Lou is strangely magnetised to the darkness. He often chooses to sit and hide away in the shadows, especially earlier on in the film.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Let's look at this shot near the end of the film. Lou walks out of a police station after a questioning he blags his way through. He walks into the harsh daytime light, and what does he do? Puts his sunglasses on. Gives a couple of cops a cheeky smirk, and walks back into the shadows, again smirking and escaping the torrid daylight. Psst! There's red in the shot of Lou again.
Hello, Willie.
What's so interesting about the way Lou is lit throughout this film is the situations he is fully lit in. Every single time Lou's face is fully lit up, he's having to play up to this normal persona, we as the audience know to be a complete facade.
Tell by your tie, it's Friday. That through hard work and commitment, you will move through the intern
The
program.
normal Lou is hiding his evil, manipulatory, real character in order to climb the social ladder and gain respect from people, which he does magnificently.
The surest way up the ladder is to listen carefully and follow my orders.
What are you doing out here?
I'm lost.
This is a
The very first time we see Lou's face lit up, and what does he have to do? Lie to a cop in order to get out of a tricky situation.
Why?
There's a broken gate back there in your trespass.
Excuse me, sir. That gate was open.
There are a couple of other times he must lie to the police in the film.
The door was open, and what I did was I went in to see if I could help because the alarm was ringing.
An active crime scene.
I didn't know it was a crime scene.
Chinatown
Each
Express
time,
tonight.
he has his face fully lit.
Of course. It began earlier in the day. I was watering my plant. I looked out my window at my apartment, the one you visited, and I saw a dark-colored vehicle with two men inside parked across the street. I didn't think anything of it, otherwise I would have reported it then. Do you know Los
Other
Angeles?
times Lou is fully lit up, and mainly when he's trying to come across as professional,
Doing what?
like talking to Rick.
I run a successful TV news business. We film breaking stories. Maybe you saw my item this morning with fatal carjacking.
Although the two have basically the exact same amount of experience in the field, Lou acts as if he is higher than Rick.
And then try taking the...
Shadows and lighting give the feeling throughout that Lou is just lurking, like a predator, an evil, monstrous predator, waiting to pounce and seize opportunity. It's terrifying, but at the same time, absolutely remarkable. It's hard to dispute that the importance of acting quality with characters on screen comes second only to the writing of the character itself. It's so important to be able to connect with the characters we watch. Enter Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake exerts spirit and life into Lou Bloom, making him terrifyingly realistic. The role has so many different challenging personas that Jake must embody. Like Manipulator Lou,
Now, when I say that I want these things, I mean that I want them, and I don't want to have to ask again. And the last thing that I want, Nina, is for you to do the things that I ask you to do when we're alone together in your apartment. Not like the last time.
fast-talking liar Lou,
Shifters and 37 gears and weighs under 6 pounds. I won the Tour de Mexico on this bike.
and starey lingering Lou.
The quieter, I think a frankly more upscale and affluent neighborhood.
You may say, that's the job of an actor. What makes this role different? Let's begin. Gyllenhaal went full method for this film, losing 30 pounds for this role, which was his own idea as he would visualise Lou as a hungry coyote, prowling the night, looking for his prey. much as Lou does with the news stories of the night. He achieved the weight loss and maintained his gaunt appearance by, according to director Dan Gilroy, working out for up to 8 hours a day and running to the sets every day for filming. Now, this is my personal favourite one. In the scene where Lou is looking at himself in the mirror and screams in anger, the mirror breaks here. A totally unintended outcome. And this led to the broken glass slicing open Jake's hand and him having to get stitches. Producer Gary Michael Walters described the cut as pretty f***ing gnarly. Yeah, it's been done before, accidents happen, let's move on.
Excuse me, sir.
Nope, hold up. After Jake got stitches and was discharged from hospital, he returned straight back to set and continued filming. This scene, to be specific. He's holding his hands behind his back because he's got a bandage on.
I'm looking for a job.
Gyllenhaal's hardcore willingness to be Lou Bloom adds to the realism and opens new doors to the character. Something only the elite actors can achieve. It's a special role for a special actor, and he pulled it off perfectly. Praise the Lords above for Jake Gyllenhaal.
We'll have the numbers coming up.
So, having discussed colours, shadows, lighting, acting, framing and cinematography in relation to our antagonistic protagonist, what can we conclude? Well, what about his journey? Does he have one? Yes and no. Narratively, Lou has travelled miles. He's clambered his way up the social and working ladder. But he's still the same man as he was the first time we saw him, fumbling about in the dark. I'll leave you with the first and last shots now. We've travelled with Lou through his whole journey and witnessed his streak of destruction. That Lou began in the shadows, and in the last shot, he walks back into the shadows, where he belongs. We see a full circle. We leave our sinful anti-hero as he journeys into the night. We aren't sure what he will do next, but we can be certain he will be sniffing the blood of his next prey.